Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats.
That article I sent you, was that not f***ing crazy, dude?
The show is about to begin.
This is a bunch of bullshit.
The bar is open. Hello, ladies and germs. Welcome to the Titty and Shiner Show, episode 65. Very special episode because I think this very well may be an episode all about one person. My name is Big Titty, and with me as always, my best friend, my confidant, and the sumbitch who goes to the hospital more than I have ever known.
My name is Shiner, and yes, I'm sorry to you. I am sorry to Donnie. I was running late tonight because I got held up in the freaking ER, man.
I know that's crazy. I hate this for you too, dude. I really do. Number one is the just a major inconvenience of having to go and spending all that time sitting there and waiting. But secondly, how much longer are your lungs going to last?
I don't know, man. It's I went today and I've been having problems. Apparently I didn't find this out till the day after. Apparently Friday or Saturday, maybe both, we had some big grass fires burning outside of Tulsa, but they were big enough. The winds brought the smoke into the city. I didn't know that, but I do know that the day that was happening, I started having a really hard time with my breathing. And I wasn't just like in a full-blown asthma attack. I was just having to really put effort into breathing.
Right.
And I fought it, and I fought it, and I fought it. And finally this afternoon, I told the nurse, I can't do it. Go to the ER. So if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, and I'm going to make it 1,001. If I go to the St. John's emergency during the day shift working, I always leave with one thing in mind, and that is day shift. You can eat a dick. They do not. The level of care between them and the night shift is worlds apart. I just can't believe I can go to the same facility and be taken such good care of during this set of hours. And I literally, dude, I think they kind of forgot about me. Nobody would claim being my nurse. They had me in a fast track room, air quote, and I get put in there. There's not even a call button. Like, they put you in there and they just kind of forget about you.
You became the wall.
Mm-hmm. I finished my nebulizer treatment. I'd already had MAG. I'd already had Solumedrol. And literally, we were pushing the outside edge of 2 hours that I went from treatment being done to somebody dealing with me. Like, I just sat in there. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm up walking around because by now I've recovered. I mean, they shut out the exacerbation, so I'm totally recovered from that. I'm like, I want to go home, man. I knew I needed to get here so we could record this. I did, dude. I grabbed some Buffalo Wild Wings. They got a dish out right now. Tater tots, brisket, fried onions, and pickled jalapenos. Woo, son. It is a home run.
You know what I'm doing right now is I've had a brisket, and I've had it in my corning solution for about a week. I'm making some corn brisket, some corned beef.
Dude, you let those things sit in there that long, you will slap the Pope for a slice of that when it's done, dude. That stuff's going to be amazing,
dude. All I'm making it for, because it's a small piece of the flat. I didn't get the whole brisket; just got a small piece of the flat. So it's in a 9x9 rectangular or 9x9 square Pyrex baking dish, whatever you want to call it.
I got one.
Yeah, and it's covered up with saran wrap and then the lid for that thing. But anyways, I'll cook it probably this weekend, maybe Sunday. Mama's birthday is Sunday, and of course St. Patty's Day is Tuesday. So I'm gonna make some corned beef hash. And
I knew it was her birthday because she actually shares a birthday with my mother. So
yeah.
I looked at my calendar the other day and I was like, oh, Mom's birthday. That means it's Shandy's birthday too.
Yeah, I picked up some cabbage.
Oh God, what are you making this meal for, bro? Oh God, what am I talking about? Who the hell do I think Patty's Day?
Well, yeah, St. Patty's Day, and Shandy, Shandy's like, well, what's the cabbage for? And I'm like, man, you gotta have cabbage, corned beef and cabbage. It's an Irish thing. You
Can you have one without the other?
Yeah, you reddish blonde-headed, blue-eyed Indians would know nothing about that, would you? But
I snorted.
yeah. But she can't stand cabbage. And see, I picked up a half pound of bacon from the supermarket meat section. I always buy my bacon from the meat section. I don't get it out of a package. But I got a half pound of thick sliced bacon, and you just brown up your bacon, and then you chop up your cabbage, and you throw it in with the bacon, and you put a lid on it with some salt and some pepper, maybe a little vinegar, if you so incline.
I don't know. I think the cabbage is going to be enough.
But anyways, yeah, and I want to have corned beef hash for breakfast. So
I'll tell you a secret, man. If you want to make a corned beef, this is the last one I made. I did this. You go to Reese's, and they have a pre-made package in the meat section. They got the perfect size of meat in there to make corned beef. If it's just going to be you and Shandy, perfect. That, and then you open that thing up and take the meat out, and you just toss all everything else they send with it because you're going to do it your own way. So that's what I did. The last one I made, and it was perfect size because it was just me.
Did you boil it or did you braise it?
I braised it.
Yeah, that's the way to fly. And as a matter of fact, I'll probably braise it so decently. I'll stick it on top of some carrots and some celery just laid long ways with some onion, and just stick the brisket on top of it. Put a little bit of water in there and seal it with saran wrap, and then cover it with aluminum foil, and then stick it in the oven for about 3.5 hours, maybe 4, however long it takes. But that meat will uptake a little bit of the flavor from the carrots and the celery and the onion, but mainly it's just there to keep the bottom of the brisket from burning.
Would you say it's a braise or it's a brine?
Yeah, well, right now it's in the brining solution, the corning stuff, and then
you'll braise it after that.
Yeah, and then I'll braise it after that.
All fancy on me, man. Oh, speaking of food, man, I saw you Saturday, and guess what? I forgot to give you
what?
Frozen container of mole.
Oh crap!
I know. It totally slipped my mind too, man.
That's all right.
Let's go ahead and address that. Titty and I got together Saturday.
We did.
Went over to the Outlaws Den.
We did. We went to the Outlaw Devil's Den. They it was pretty corny. They blindfolded us and took us in a van so we wouldn't know where it was. No, I'm just kidding. Well, you know how my company drives those vans with no windows, right? So, anyways, we show up there and did part 1 of an interview. We're going to go back and do part 2. Part 1 kind of got away from us a little bit.
When we walk in to interview a band and they're playing and cutting up and having a good time, and they got a bottle of, it's 10:30 in the morning, and they got, no, we got there at like 1:30.
Yeah.
But they had been going since 10:30.
Yeah. And
they got a bottle of Fireball that's obviously been being drank out of. Somebody made the statement they've been drinking since 10:30.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
not that we would suggest that, but it went off the rails. It was a good time.
It did. Scott Bond and me were the only sober ones in there, and of course we're looking at each other like, God, this is a hot mess. Jesus Christ!
Was it Scott? I'm bad with names. Was Scott the one drinking the Fireball?
Nope, Scott's the drummer.
Oh, wow. You just said that, Jesus.
Yeah, Jerry. Well, Jerry and Gary and Rob were all drinking, but Rob didn't drink that much, and Gary didn't drink that much.
Now, Jerry, on the other hand.
But you and Jerry just kept swapping that bottle back and forth.
Yeah, and you know what? I told you when I think the next day I told you, that really appeared to me to be like some Fireball in the gut with no food in there. I don't think he had very much food to combat what was going on with the Fireball.
Yeah, I don't think you did either, because I went back and listened to the audio, and you were getting quite verbose toward the end of that as well.
Well, I found myself at some point not too long before that you probably noticed that, I found myself really kind of buying in to old Jerry and be like, okay, well, let's just do this. If this is what you want to do, let's do it. I know how to do this.
So we're gonna go back again and finish this interview, do part 2, because the thing about it is some of the stories in the second half of what we were doing, some of the stories were so epic, but they got so drawn out because you tell me a story, and that story is an 8 out of 10, and I'm gonna turn around, and I'm gonna report the story as a 10 out of 10, right? So it gets embellished.
Here's the other problem when you introduce Fireball into it, is anytime you take intellectual people and you give them something they can just shoot, and it gets you that little bit, it just takes a little bit of that inhibition you may have in some deep crevice of your soul.
Oh, and then you become smarter.
Yeah, and then you realize you feel like you have to really discuss things intelligently. I know this for a fact. Just listen to Jerry talk when he was drunk. I know when he's sober, he's very intelligent. You can tell that. You're like, holy shit, this dude's got a lot going on in the dome, you know? But, man, you put some Fireball in that, you're going to draw things out. You're going to get your point across. You're going to do it in the most intellectual manner that you can muster. Like, it's not a good combination.
No, not for interviews. It got pretty vile. And when I say vile, it was very...
Three lunatics, that shit.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. I was thinking...
Well, I wouldn't even say that.
College fraternity type, you know, go up and hump your leg and or just whip my thing out right there and just swing it like a baseball bat and hit you in the butt with it. You know, it was kind of heading that direction. So we wrapped it up. And
I think, didn't we see a moon? Didn't somebody moon?
Oh,
somebody?
yeah.
Wasn't that happening at one point?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I think we saw 2 moons.
I think we did.
Yeah.
Come to think of it.
I saw the longest crack I've ever seen in my life.
I remember discussing this.
Yeah.
Like it started like between his shoulder blades.
Oh my God. That ass crack went for days.
Longest set of butt cheeks you've ever seen.
But let me tell you something. When we get part 2 done and get this thing edited, you guys are really going to, and we may have to put this out in 2 different parts.
Really?
Yeah, very much so, because, you know, I like to do an hour-long podcast. I don't like to do much more than that because it's, you know, you can hold somebody for an hour, but when something drags on longer than that.
I hope we can. I mean, I hope we're holding people for an hour.
Yeah. And so, Hell Beans, he's 30 minutes.
You know what, man? He gets in there, gets his message across, and gets out. And I like that. Like, I mean, you know, when you're kind of flying solo, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can't do the Joe Rogan thing and go 3 hours.
No.
Well, hell, he's even got guests when he does it. But I mean,
no, as a matter of fact, I've never listened to a Joe Rogan podcast front to back.
There's very few of them I have. There's every once in a while there'll be a guest, and Ted Nugent. I listen to the whole goddamn thing. He's had some other ones on there. Lance Armstrong, I listened to that entire one.
Yeah, he had Ted Nugent just about getting ready to go out and campaign for medicinal marijuana.
Yeah. Well, that was the episode, which I found this surprising. If you guys know anything about Ted Nugent, he's very straight edge. Like, he doesn't drink, he doesn't do drugs, and he's always been against any kind of legalization of marijuana. Trump actually has a panel together that are studying to bring medicinal nationwide, and he asked and Nugent accepted to be part of that panel because Nugent said his views have changed because somebody took him to a children's hospital, and he said he saw multiple kids that had cancer and were in all kinds of pain, and they gave him THC, and boom, it was all gone.
All of a sudden, they were able to walk the hallway, and
he said, so I had to reevaluate my stance on it, so that was great. Oh, and anytime he's got Joe Rogan's got Cameron Haynes on his show, I listen to all those. Those are very interesting.
I had Elon Musk.
That's another one, front to back. Oh, here's something the nurse told me this the other night when I was watching TV. There's a CoverGirl commercial out with an older lady on it.
71-year-old, yep.
That is Elon Musk's mother.
Yep.
How am I just now finding this out?
I don't know.
That's cool as shit.
Yeah, she's pretty too. I'd hit her.
And brag about it. I mean,
yeah, I'd hit Betty
I'd tell
White.
my buddies.
Dude, I'd hit Betty White and brag about it.
I don't think anybody wouldn't. I mean, hell, she would.
Yeah, I mean, that's my point. You know, you became the guy that freaking gave it to Betty White before she passed away.
Well, they right before.
Right.
They said when she hosted Saturday Night Live that she went to the rap party and she stayed up all night long and partied with them. Like, that chick's cool, man.
Yeah, even Even Trump won't hang that late.
Okay, man, you brought up a political figure. I got butterflies